Hi, I'm Linda from Museum and the National Caribbean Heritage Museum, and I'm cooking today for Sous Chef. They've invited us to cook today. I've also brought my aunt with me, Auntie Pat, and we're going to be cooking right now some rice and peas to an old family recipe. So that's why Auntie Pat's here to show us how to do it. So I'm going to prep the spring onions, and Auntie Pat is prepping some onions.
Yeah, the brown onion.
Brown onion. Traditionally, you'd always know it was Sunday because you'd have rice and peas on Sunday.
I cook that every Sunday, Linda. Rain or shine, because my husband from Jamaica, it's not a Sunday without rice and peas.
So true.
Every Sunday.
And that's why, as long as I'm in Nottingham, I'll always pop round to Auntie Pat's. And rice and peas, when we say peas in the Caribbean, we don't mean green peas, garden peas. We mean beans, basically. The most popular would be kidney beans. Traditionally, you'd have gungo peas for Christmas. And actually today, we are going to be spicing it up and make it into more of a celebration, so using gungo peas. The recipe does vary from island to island, so some islands prefer gungo peas, some prefer cow peas. It depends where you're from. Black-eyed peas, bright peas, there's so many peas and beans. So it really does depend, and then also from village to village or whatever your family usually cooks, it really depends on what you'd have. Nowadays obviously you can get things in cans, so it's really easy, but traditionally, you want to see my grandmother making this. She won't be very happy with this. No. She would have soaked her own overnight, yeah. So make them nice and soft so they're not hard when you cook them with the rice. Now I traditionally wouldn't ever cook with ginger, but I asked Auntie Pat how she makes her rice and peas, and even though this is a traditional family recipe, this is something that Auntie Pat's put in more recently. I don't think Grandma did it, did she?
Maybe later on, because I think that's who I got it from. So I do just put ginger in and fish it out again, as I do with lots of other ingredients like the thyme, like the Scotch bonnet pepper. Yeah. Put it in, fish it out again.
Caribbean cooking does change depending on which island you're from, which village you're from, and also different people and different families cook things slightly differently. And traditionally we don't write recipes down. We just pass it down, because you bring your children into the kitchen with you as a parent, and you teach your sons and daughters, because everybody cooks in the Caribbean, how to make things. It's that thing about have to have a good memory and have to have a good palate. It's all about eyes, so you don't always have to measure something out, you can just eyeball it, and also about the taste. So we do traditionally have a good palate, so we can tell what's in something immediately. One of my jobs as a child on a Sunday would be to get the rice and then to pick all the black bits out, because in those days rice wasn't as sifted as well as it is now, and it's clean. So pick that out, and then you'd have to wash it three times?
Yeah, quite a few times.
To get all the excess starch out of it as well. So now everything's prepped and we've washed the rice. You have to wash the rice, some people say at least 3 times, other people continue to wash it so all the starch is gone. But before we start cooking the rice, we saute off the onions to get the flavour out of them.
There we go.
Oh, sizzle.
There we
it's all
go.
about the sizzle as well.
Yeah. Can you smell it? Yeah, just a slight of heat just brings out the flavour, and then everything else is going to go in. Okay, so we're going to, so what have we got in there? We've got our onions, our gungo peas with the liquid.
I would say this is the most important bit to get the authentic taste.
I think so.
Coconut milk.
What did we use before we had it in tins, Linda? Do you know? Your mum would know.
You have to use that block, and before the block you have to grate it.
Grate the coconut, actual freshly grated coconut.
That's too much work.
It is too much work, but if you've ever tasted rice and peas with freshly grated coconut, you'd know about it. Let's get some seasoning in here. We'll put our allspice. These grains are quite hard, so we can actually crush them through a garlic crusher, because if you don't, you have to be mindful that it could be quite hard on your teeth.
Yeah.
All-purpose seasoning and freshly ground pepper. What we're going to do now, just add the whole Scotch bonnet, add a bigger than a thumb size, but it's fine, of ginger, and then gravy browning, Maggie's liquid.
So we're bringing this to the boil now. So I'm going to put the lid on, but with the water, either do the 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water, or some people say that you put as much water in that, or liquid, that goes up to halfway up your thumb. Obviously everyone has different thumbs, but it actually seems to work each time.
So that's above the rice? Above the rice. Yeah. I'm a measurer, so I would always stick with my 3 cups of rice to 6 cups of liquid.
That's how I like to do it.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong that way. So now I put the lid on, Auntie Pat. When should we come back?
20-25 minutes, but make sure you turn it down as well.
Oh,
because turning it down just steams the rice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look at our rice and peas. Oh, that does look really nice. So taking out the Scotch bonnet, we don't want too much heat, and the ginger. Now we used our traditional Jamaican family recipe, but because I'm half Kitishan, I do like Kitishan rice as well. So with this rice is Kitishan style Jamaican hybrid fusion. Best way of describing it. It's me if I was rice, basically. So when my parents first married, they always used to have arguments on a Sunday when it came to what type of rice I'd have, Kitishan or Jamaican. Yeah. So I've done the best of both worlds.
Well, it would definitely go well with the oxtail that we cooked. But traditionally, you know, curry mutton, curry chicken, it's with everything. Fried fish, jerk chicken.
This is just a good Caribbean
staple.
Yeah.